Hello and welcome to the Whisky.com news on the 16th of October 2019. And yes, as you can see, I'm on tour here at the Glenrothes Distillery. And speaking of Glenrothes, that's my first news. We have the Glenrothes Halloween Edition 2019. And the Glenrothes Halloween Edition is all about ghosts this year. Yeah, the whole bottle is really white. It has a white liqueur on it, and it's meant to symbolize the ghost and guising that is a Scottish tradition. Yeah. Then we have Dalmore in the news. Dalmore brings out 3 new travel retail edition. They're called the Trio, the Quartet and the Quintet. And that's a reference to the casks that are being used to make the whiskey. They're all non-age statement whiskies and are meant for the 2020 travel retail market all around the globe on the airports. Then we have the Macallan Concept No.2, and this time the Macallan is inspired by the music. So we have Stephen Bremner, very enthusiastic house DJ. So they try to unite whiskey and music with that bottling. It's a mixture between sherry and ex-bourbon casks. Then we have Royal Brackla in the news. We've just been at Royal Brackla before, and they are rearranging their core range. So we used to have 40% Royal Brackla whiskies, 40% ABV, and now we have 46% ABV with 12, 18 and 20-year-old single malt whiskies from the distillery. They're all without coloring. Then we have something from the Rumors. Yeah, we have a rumor about a 9th bottling from the GOT edition. Yeah, there's always some rumors coming from the US because they have the labels that are being inserted from the companies into the, I think, patents or brands or something into a government facility, and they are public. So maybe we're getting a 15-year-old Mortlach, 46% ABV, ex-bourbon casks, and they should have a 3-eyed raven on it, and it will be called Kingdoms, 6 Kingdoms. But we're not quite sure. Maybe it's just a decoy. So it can be true. Stay tuned. We're gonna report the bottling when it's confirmed. Then we have news from England, and the Cotswolds is extending their range. They're going into the peated cask. Okay, so they are launching a bottling that has been matured in peated casks that used to contain whiskey that have a really high phenol proportion in it. And it's limited to 2,950 bottles and will be bottled with cask strength 59.3% ABV, no chill filtering, no coloring. So should be a pretty good bottling. Then we go over to Ireland. The Irish Distillers revealing the Middleton Very Rare 2019. It's already the 36th iteration of this series, and this year we have whiskies between 13 and 34 years old in this Middleton Very Rare. 40% ABV and American White Oak. The Powerscourt Distillery brings out the Fercullen Irish whiskey on the market. The distillery actually opens in March, but their range is already getting onto the market. And what they do is they're bringing out 10-year-old grain and a 14-year-old single malt. So probably they got their stuff from Kool-Aid because they have connections to Kool-Aid, but we're not quite sure where they get the stuff from. Then we have the Pogues. As you remember, there has been a whiskey called the Pogues from the West Cork Distillery. And this is the second homage to this famous band. And the first one was a blended Irish whiskey, and now it will be a single malt Irish whiskey. Matured in bourbon casks, 40% ABV, and hopefully as good as the first one. Then we have a bit of a change at Beams with their Baker's Bourbon. The Baker's Bourbon was a small batch bourbon and now becomes a single cask bourbon. So they don't use more casks to make a batch, but they only do one cask now. They're gonna stay at 107 proof and 7 years of age. The bottle will be a bit shorter and a bit more timely, they say. So they're gonna be a bit of a redesign there. But I don't think that they're gonna change the Bakers very much. Maybe the fluctuation between the whiskies will be a bit bigger, because if you have batches, there's more leveling out the flavors, and the single cask can vary a bit more. So some people will get a better bottling, some people may not find that better. We don't know. Let's have a look when we have the next Bakers on the cask. So, thank you very much for watching. I'm gonna do a tour over the next 2 weeks here in the Speyside. You can expect these videos to come out before Christmas, let's say it that way. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next week.